Well, welcome everyone. Today with me is Javier Vidania. He is a realtor extraordinaire. Some people would call him Real Estate Chad. Is that what we're going to go with? That's what I'm going to call you through the rest of this video, probably. But a big problem that you're probably facing if you're putting in offers on homes is you're competing against other people who want that same house. And the problem is, we put in our offer, but we don't really know what's going on the back end. And so what Javier is going to help us with Chad is going to help us with today, is actually kind of, we're going to open the curtain a little bit, see what's going on behind the scenes, what a seller thinks about when they're seeing our home offers. And then he's going to give us some guidance on what we can do to actually help our offer stand out a little bit more, especially against something like a cash offer, right? It's this big fear of cash offers coming in and there's no way I'm going to be able to compete. But Javier, you're going to show us a little bit about how we can actually compete with a cash offer, right?
Those crazy California cash buyers, the CCCs. I just made that up on the spot. I don't know if that's actually a term. But yeah, no, first I want to say that ultimately the seller has a decision, but it's also wise to know that the realtor, the way they present these offers has a lot to do with it, right? So even though, just want to make sure clear, the seller makes the final decision, it's still valuable to know what the realtors tell the sellers when seeing this. But other than that, I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Kyle. I've been a Seagraver for a long time, and I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, I appreciate it. You'll sit here and be pretty and give us nice advice. That's the
basically
goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna role play a little bit. All right, you comfortable with that?
Oh gosh.
Right? It's like, or LARPing in your world, right? Do you do that? No, I don't know. So
it's called Dungeons and Dragons, not LARPing, but okay, go ahead.
All right,
can I be this? Can we role play with this?
Yes, okay. we can do it. I'll need to wear my hat. So here's the scenario that we're gonna put together. I'm the seller. I'm selling my house. And okay. I hired you as my real estate agent. So I have 3 offers that just came in. So I have here up on screen a couple of these offers with some of the details. So here's my scenario basically, is I'm selling this house for $325,000. All right. My current loan is $265,000. Probably not a huge issue. Yeah, you might need to get some paper to write that down.
Yeah.
I'm already under contract for a new home, and I really need to sell this home because I don't want to have 2 mortgages, right? That sounds like a real big pain to me. So, basically I'm just looking for the most amount of money with the least amount of stress. All right, so offer 1 that came in, they're offering me $320,000, which is $5,000 less than I wanted. They're putting down $1,000 earnest money. They also want $6,000 concessions, and they're buying with an FHA loan. Now I've heard some not good things about FHA loans, so I don't know, maybe I can get some of your advice on that. They have a pre-approval letter from an online lender, which to me seems okay. It looks like I'll probably make $33,000 from the sale of this after, paying agent commissions and everything. So that's offer 1.
First and foremost, I want to say, as the listing agent, I would have never told the buyer that you are under contract already and you have this urgency to sell, because that gives up our position right away. So if you're the buyer side and you find that out, use that to your leverage. Like, you have the power here. That means that you can offer a high price, and if there's no other offers, if it doesn't appraise, they're going to be their back against the wall. So I would have never said that, but if you do find that out on the buyer side, use that to your advantage. So here's what I would tell my seller at this point. First and foremost, I don't like online lenders. They're not very communicative. They're terrible at follow-up with, even this basic LSUs. You have to bother them to give you state documents sometimes. Like in Arizona, we need a certain kind of pre-qual with this Arizona, not necessarily a national one. They just send an email. So I would initially start off by, I don't like their lender they're using. I tried calling them. They probably didn't even answer. This is website. They're probably going with them because you're getting a cheap interest rate. I don't know. I prefer to work with someone local. I can trust somebody, because me as a listing agent, I look good if everything goes smoothly. So,
okay.
And so I initially, they're starting off low and they're asking for closing costs. They're asking with 2 hands here. They're not only asking for less price, than less closing costs. So at this point, I know I have 3 offers, right? At this point,
yep.
So I would be a little almost, I don't want to say hurt, but a little, like, I would definitely scoff, like, why are they doing this? Especially if I look at the other ones. So the way I would tell my seller is like, hey, they want $320 and they want $6,000. That seller would probably be like, holy crap, they're asking for basically $11,000 of my money, right? Especially when there's other offers that are higher. So that already, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're not giving a good impression to the agent or the seller. The FHA thing is tricky because What I would tell my seller is this is what you need to qualify for FHA. As soon as I tell them, and then they ask, well, what do you need to qualify conventional? I would tell them that. They're going to make their own conclusions. FHA, you need a lower credit score. It's a little, easier to qualify for, et cetera, et cetera. They're thinking about the strength of the buyer. The agent wants you to close on time. They want to make sure it goes smoothly. And in order to ensure that, they need someone with solid financing. Even though FHA can be solid financing, on the seller side, it's a little nervous knowing that, hey, what's going on here with the FHA? Why is your credit low? We would have never known the income. Kyle, I know you mentioned their income. And frankly, it doesn't matter, right? But at the end of the day, I would probably do some follow-up questions, hopefully with this lender that didn't answer their phone. Are they using down payment assistance or are they using FHA? And why is their credit low? I would try to even prod on that as well. So that's how I would present it, Kyle. Is that what you wanted, or do you have any more questions about that?
No, that's kind of how I was feeling about offer one. Is it was like already kind of low, and they're asking for more money, and the financing just kind of felt a little bit off. So what I am excited about.
What is that saying? You can't have your cake and eat it too?
Is that it?
I
would say have cake and get seconds. That's
have cake, eat seconds. Yeah, no. Here in Arizona, it's just how many carne asada can you eat at once? So
have carne asada all the time.
Carne asada. Mañana. What did you say? Mañana.
So this is the offer that I'm excited about because I think we can just close on it without any issues. So it's for $325,000, which is exactly what we asked for. It'd be nice if it was a little bit higher, but they're putting down $5,000 in earnest money. So to me, it seems like it's strong. They're not asking for any closing costs, and they're buying with cash. So in my mind, I don't know. Do I even need to consider another offer?
I would want to know the third offer before I answer that. So let's kind of, if you don't mind, can you give me the third info on the phone, the third one?
Sure. So the third one, this one's a little bit different than the other two because it came with some extra stuff. They're offering $345,000. So they came in really strong. They have the same earnest money. They do want $3,000 in seller concessions. They're buying with conventional. And we have a pre-approval letter from them from a bank. And they mentioned something about their lender reaching out to you as well, talking about their financing.
So would they be closing in 2 weeks, or what does that look like?
Yeah, they put their closing date 15 days from now versus this third offer. They said they're looking closer to like 30 days.
So this is a very interesting situation and one that comes up a lot. The cash offer will be closing in 2 weeks, I'm assuming, Kyle, and the conventional would be like, 30 days later?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. The cash to the seller will present certainty. Like, this is going to go through. We're not going to make more money, but it's still kind of tough because they only have 265, so they're not really making that much, right? The 345 to the seller gives them the chance to make an extra $20,000. Well, actually 17 because they're asking for closing costs. But it's with the risk of saying this might not go through. Unfortunately, because you did give me the situation that the seller, has that urgency, they're already under contract. At this point, they might go for the certain option, which is a cash. Now, let's say that wasn't the case and the seller's just looking to sell in general. They might roll with the 345 because you get the chance to make more money. They know it's a solid letter. I'm impressed as a listing agent because your lender actually reached out to me, which I win offers all the time because out of like 20 offers, my lender's the only one that called. So the only thing I would probably inquire about, and I would recommend you not do, is that $3,000 concessions. You don't need those $3,000 of concessions. I mean, come on. It's $3,000. You're just trying to negotiate something. I would call and ask, why are you asking me for this? Are you guys not have enough? Do you guys don't have enough down payment? What's the situation, right? So I'm going to make sure to double check on that. And then secondly, I don't know. It could go both ways because they're not waiving their appraisal or they're not doing anything creative with that.
So on the third offer, they do have a clause for the appraisal saying they'll pay an extra $5,000 if it comes in short. So
worst case scenario, it appraises at list price. They at least made $5,000 more, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. Because they don't have that, because they aren't going to make that much money, $10,000 to $20,000 probably will make that difference for them, where they actually might go with the conventional one. But if there's urgency needed, they want certainty. and they have maybe a lot more to net from the house, they won't be greedy, and I think we'll go with the cash one. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah. So it definitely seems like offer one is kind of like they kind of just put something in the ring and they're maybe not familiar with what, how competitive some of the market is a little bit. The
I
cash
call
was
those practice offers.
Yeah,
They're
the-
just practice offers, just to practice how to make an offer, because it really doesn't do anything.
Yeah, the cash was exciting because it was like, oh, they have cash, so there's a good certainty of it closing. But then the financed offer came in, and it sounds like there's a lot of certainty with it closing. It's just going to take a little bit longer, but we could get an extra $17,000 from it. So both at this point seem attractive. Is there, so if you were advising this buyer who's putting an offer three, is there anything that they could do, or what are some of the good things that they're doing to help that offer stand out against cash? And is there anything else that they can do to help that offer kind of punch up a little bit?
Sure. I would say first and foremost for the seller, if depending on their situation, if they are going with option three, we wouldn't just accept it. I would counter no closing cost. And I would counter maybe making the earnest money go hard or something like that, because I want that at least there's risk there for us, right? So I would have done that. So it's not just a flat acceptance. So to answer your question for the buyer side, what are some things we could have done? So as the agent, I could have called the buyer. Sorry, as the agent, I could have called the seller, find out their situation. Now sometimes they don't tell me what's going on, but simply asking, hey, I know you're looking to sell this right away for a lot top dollar, but is there another situation going on where you're buying another house, or do you need extra time in the house, right? We can close in 30 days, but do you need an extra month or two, right? So that post possession. Some people even offer a post possession for free, just like, hey, we can let you stay in the house for an extra month or two for absolutely free, no problem. So that way they close, they get their money, and they can stay in their house for free as a rental, or you can charge if you want. So that way they kind of helps them out, right? We're rubbing their back and giving them a massage and making sure they're comfortable. I don't know if I like those terms. I don't know why I said them. And then the $5,000 appraisal thing, to my opinion, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I don't like waiving my appraisal. It's just like waiving the appraisal contingency part of me. It just makes me nervous. Now, frankly, it doesn't mean you have to come up with the difference if it doesn't appraise. It just means that your earnest money goes hard if it doesn't appraise. Like the seller has no obligation to work with you, and you'll lose your earnest money. So, hey, if you have a lot of money and you're willing to lose that earnest money deposit, that's not a bad thing to do, especially if your earnest money deposit's lower. And making your inspection tighter, making it 7 days or maybe making it 5 days. And something that people are doing, Kyle, is not that I'm condoning, but this is what I've seen, is some people say, hey, for the first X amount of dollars of the inspection, or we will not ask for any repairs that exceed a certain amount of inspection, right? So basically, I would word it differently, make sure to talk to your realtor, but basically telling the seller, hey, for the first $500 of the inspection that we get, we're not going to ask for that stuff. We are assuming at least $500 for repairs. So if it's just a bunch of minor stuff, we're not going to ask for it because it's less than $500. But for the buyer, that still means, hey, if the roof's not good, we can ask for it. Or if the AC is not good, we're going to ask for it. I had a situation recently where we did that for $500. Well, the house had termites and it also needed a $600 repair. We said, hey, we didn't ask you for the termites because it's like a $400, $500 repair, but we are asking you for the roof, right? So the seller has some idea that we're not going to be too picky on the inspector. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But other than that, it's just really figuring out how we can help the seller. And sometimes they don't give us a lot. Sometimes, quite frankly, Kyle, there's a cash offer that comes in 30,000 over that just demolishes everybody. In those situations, we kind of just got to take the hit and move on. But just really finding out the seller situation and asking, how can I help you with that? And the thing is at least here in Arizona, even though they have absolute leverage when we're negotiating, once we're under contract, the buyer has all the leverage. I had a situation where we gave a month to a seller, and they wanted to ask for more time when it was time to close, and we said no. The contract date says we're going to close on this day. You didn't take a post possession. We're closing on this time. Seller cannot do anything about it. But if you know your contract, you know that if you get in contract, you can protect yourself in certain ways, et cetera, yada, yada, yada. And really, Kyle, especially since you're asking me as like, hey, the listing agent, to the seller, when the buyer's agent reaches out to the listing agent and just says, hey, well, how can I help you with this? What can I do to make you look better to your seller? What do you need, right? So that just already just sets you apart, and it makes the listing agent like your agent more. And quite frankly, I've had situations where we're not the top person, but because we made such a good impression, they give us little hints like, hey, if you do this, you got it. Or if you do this, you got it, right? So just really making a good impression with the seller and the listing agent, going an extra mile to ask, how can I help? And really, really goes a long way of winning the heart over. And quite frankly, it's a lot of luck. So a lot of times when I win an offer, it's because we were just humans, and we, as human beings do, just had a conversation, and that's how we could help.
Well, man, I appreciate your help here, because it's tough as a buyer to figure out what do I come in with, and really in a market like this, you're trying to come in with as strong of an offer as possible, because there often aren't these second chances to be able to. We definitely can't see the other offers. And often a seller might not counter back. They might go with whatever is the strongest offer. So I really appreciate your advice. And if you haven't already checked out Javier's channel, not only is he the most helpful realtor on YouTube, but he's got you're going to take all of this. Heart of gold. And I think your integrity and honesty speaks volumes about who you are as a person, through the way you present yourself on YouTube. And just stop. You gotta take it.
Okay, fine, go ahead.
So, when we're looking at this kind of market and how frustrating it can be, one of the questions that starts to come up is like, well, should I even buy right now, or should I wait till things in the market clear up a little bit better? So Javier and I just recorded a video about this. Should you buy now or wait? So do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. Yeah, I know. I figured since we were going to have the chance to talk, we should, we probably have a lot of similar experiences with comments and whatnot. I figured, hey, let's look up the most commonly asked questions from our subscribers and make a video about it. So made a video where I asked you, I think, a series of few questions, and ending it with the most common question we get, which is, should I buy now or later? So it was a fun time. Fun was had on both sides. And thank you again for having me here.
Awesome. So if you want to see, should you buy now or later, the video is going to be right here on screen. You can click that and watch it. And thanks again, Javier. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.